You're almost at the edge of your seat, wondering what this dumb car will look like. They were also smart to keep Herb involved in this storyline. That the episode makes it clear that he was warned about what is happening. The audience can't walk away saying Herb was totally oblivious. No, Herb was given a definitive warning from his lead engineer. But because he was too enamored with his half-brother, he would rather wield his power to impress the kids. And, once again, they're masking all of this via their comedy. We are heading toward destruction, but it doesn't feel like we're heading toward destruction. The episode makes the audience feel as wealthy as Herb, just enjoying the view from the top while stuff happens below. Both Mother Where Art Thou definitely has a lot to say about the class divide, a dramatically different point of view that the working class has with those Harvard eggheads. It neither condemns nor idolizes either group. It's clear that these executives are painfully out of touch with what the common man would want, something Homer intrinsically understands, but also portrays Homer's ideas as bored and impractical. Herb exists as a bridge between both groups, since he is new money, so to speak, but instead of being the best of both worlds, he totally dips it. He surrounded himself with Harvard eggheads and blissfully ignored what the charismatic outsider was doing. I suppose this is a good place to discuss the jokes in the whole for this episode. This is a pretty good example of Season 2's brand of humor, where they experiment more with the bouncier genre parodies and a silly Homer commercial, but are otherwise sticking to their character-driven approach. I had mentioned some of the bratty articles stuff earlier. This is such a Season 1 and 2 kind of joke for them, but also just joyously childish stuff, like Bart singing, "Bastard, bastard, bastard, bastard," or them rolling around on the floor laughing at Itchy and Scratchy. The ending gets all the love because of that stupid design and Herb's huge reaction, but honestly,
Revenge
is my favorite scene of the episode. First, the Dr. Hibbert meta joke, then the hilariously layered back
Lumos.
the two of them. How Homer just can't take the hint. The way he taps the folder knowingly and exhaustingly gives up in the end. It's so well done. Feels like the prototype of the "Hello, Mr. Thompson" joke from Cape Fear. This thing is just filled to the brim with early Simpsons vibes, and I am here for it. How the individual scenes are so relaxed with its pacing. Every scene is allowed to breathe. We don't always need some wacky wordplay or cutaway to keep us engaged. Director Wes Archer fills this thing with charming and unique visual choices that make it feel extra dynamic. How this cop will swing around with his gun in the foreground. How it reverses and shows him from Homer's POV. Later, when meeting the kids,
I've always said that travel
with
rules
Maggie
in the
falling down.
brain.
Little details like Bart quickly sticking out his tongue. And, of course, the decision to keep Herb's face hidden from us until the limousine window reveal. Then at the end, we not only get a hilarious design for the car built for Homer, the animators even make a 360-degree spin of this monstrosity. Man, what a challenge this must have been to draw. One of the coolest things about the scene is how utterly deflating it is, both for the audience and the narrative itself. The story just builds and builds and builds and builds to this reveal, but the moment it happens, everything is immediately over. They don't do a prolonged sequence in the media about Hal's Motors' newest flop or whatever. No, instead they immediately cut to the Komatsu logo coming in and the repo guys in the background. Honestly, I can't think of many other Simpsons episodes structured like this. The episode immediately dies alongside his business. Get on the bus, Herb. But once again, this is Homer's story and not hers, so it caters its ending directly to Homer's footprint story. Grandpa returns and yells at Homer for screwing everything up. And Lisa provides the summation that Herb's life was an unbridled success.
It took us 3 days to find your brother, and your mother almost squashed him first. You know how much she hates stunt metals. Ah, but I bet that's why you did it, eh? Well, let's see how much you like being turned into an insect. Next time you test my grandma.
The Simpson family being these lovable losers. This black hole that drags down everyone to their level.
against
When you
Kurt.
look at it from this perspective,
Though there is
it makes
such
sense
thing as
why
trying
Bart
too
Over
hard.
is structured the way it is. Even still, despite Homer screwing things up, they add the tiniest bit of catharsis at the very end, that Bart thought that Homer's car was cool. This episode is seen as good as hell. Like, this scene is the ethos of early Simpsons. These lovable losers that find solidarity with each other. It's such a ridiculous cliche in the grand scheme of things, but I like how the early years were so committed to stuff like this. We have been through so much stuff with Herb, but this is fundamentally what they want us to care about. This episode made me realize something about my feelings about downfall stories. That my favorite versions are the ones told from a third-party point of view. Sure, we don't get the level of intimacy of following the downfall character as the protagonist, but instead, these versions take a much more relationship-driven approach. Our POV character gets to come in from the outside, and we get that top-down, holistic view of the tragedy. Like in The Great Gatsby, we get Kate Carraway basically falling in love with his new friend. We get to watch alongside Nick while he is amazed and horrified by what happens. And the tragedy ends up imprinting on our POV character and the audience. The same thing happens with Herb. We will never know about Herb's full backstory, but we do understand his motivation, and it's crystal clear why he fails. The fact that this whole story is built upon his newfound love for the Simpson family, that fulfillment of his needs, makes his downfall more tragic than Frank Grimes, in my opinion. At least with Grimey, you could argue that he's screwed around and found out. When Herb lashes out at Homer at the end, it's a dagger to the heart, because we know how earnestly Homer pursued everything. I think that's why we, the audience, are so keen to reevaluate this episode, and point out that it was Herb's fault for ignoring the warning signs. We don't want to see our Homer get beaten up by the narrative. We can laugh at Homer and watch him get yelled at by Grandpa Herb, but also know that it's kind of bullshit. Homer didn't ask for any of this. This isn't
Professor,
episode.
I'm glad to see you.
And I you. Thank Merlin you're in one piece. I heard about the attack. Trolls in Hogsmeade?
Sir, the trolls were wearing armor. It had that dark glow like the dragon collar.
Goblin silver. Ranrock used it to control the dragon. But how? And why some trolls too?
They were there because of me. I overheard Ranrock talking with Victor Rookwood.
Ranrock was in Hogsmeade.
The trolls were Ranrock's distraction so that Rookwood could get to me. And he would have, had Sirona and the patrons at the Three Broomsticks not intervened.
This is great news indeed. If Ranrock's goblins and dark wizards are after you, they want what we found in that vault.
Speaking of the vault, do you think that Ranrock is working with any of the goblins at Gringotts?
I do not. Gringotts goblins aren't typically the friendliest of beings, but they have a great deal of integrity. No, I dare say after what happened to that poor banker, the goblins at Gringotts are no followers of Ranrock.
They're after the locket. You said you discovered something in it.
Yes. I discovered an inscription. When I read it aloud, this map appeared. Clever enchantment. It's a map of Hogwarts, to be sure, but I do not know where it leads.
It leads to the library. A restricted section, to be precise, and a bit beyond. I see traces of magic there on the map.
I suspected you would see something.
Shall we go?
I appreciate your enthusiasm, and I'm eager to discover what we may find there as well. But if our experience at Gringotts, let alone what happened to Miriam, taught me anything, it's that the path we're on is terribly dangerous. I'd like you to work with Professor Hecat a bit, before we continue.
But sir, how dangerous could the library be? Perhaps we're only after a book.
Perhaps we are only after a book, but we should be prepared for anything. Once you've honed your defensive magic further, come and see me. I'll let Professor Hecat know to expect you.
Revelli.
simply because you had one victory over Salad. He never backs down from a fight. Heard you defending Hogsmeade against trolls. You know, there is such a thing as trying too hard.
I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones.
Hogwarts survives the reign of this headmaster. I think we should have a moon calf in charge. That young is now a teacher herself. Wonder she's not coupled up by her own thing.
I'm here about the new spell you wanted to teach me, Professor.
Good. Professor Fig indicated a certain urgency to you completing your defensive magic assignments. As such, you are to learn Incendio, the fire-making spell, handy for lighting torches, burning away spider webs, and, when necessary, defending against those who would wish to do us harm.
Sounds versatile.
Quite. But before we get started, I'd like you to complete a few tasks. You may be surprised by some of them. Astonishing how much students don't think their professors know. When you're finished, come and see me. Then we shall begin working on Incendio. You know where to find me once you've finished.
Seems crossed wands isn't as secret as it's believed to be. Revelio.
Here I've come from the toilet bowl where she said I could swim, did you Praxia mole? As long as we're only one time per week, I can plunge the boy's lavatory, not for the mink.
Please, Peeves, you'll make me late.
He tried to stop me, did rancorous carp, sought to trap me, confine me inside of a jar. But he failed, as did his containment charms, so I took my revenge to wreak havoc and harm. It was granted my privileges be handsome indeed, or I'd fire up the cannon, and so she agreed. To draw up a contract with her, not with him, that if I behaved, I'd have one weekly swim!
I'll pay you for this.
Revelio.
Let me figure this close.
Revelio.
About to begin our next piece. Take a moment to allow our music to soothe your heart.
He searched him. What?
Pay particular attention to the strings in this next piece. The heart will soar.
Revelio.
It's impossible.
Lumos.
Okay.
Revelio. Lumos. Revelio. Levioso. Revelio.
Glad you could make it. Lucan's just over there.
Levioso.
Can I help you?
Sebastian told me to see you about a club.
If Sebastian vouches for you, that's all I need to know. I coordinate duels for crossed wands. A dueling club of sorts. It's invitation only, so you must have really impressed Sebastian.
I'm flattered to hear that. Sebastian's not a bad duelist either.
Imagine it's quite something to see the two of you duel.
How does cross wands work exactly?
You show up, I match you with other duelists, and whoever is still standing in the end wins. It's our way of determining the school's greatest duelist once and for all. And to liven things up, the winner is awarded a prize. Interested?
Of course. Dueling's an entertaining pastime.
I agree. Besides, in crossed ones, you could duel with a partner if you like. Your first time I'll pair you with Sebastian. Next time, you'll need to bring a partner along, or duel alone. So, care to step into the ring?
Get me in the ring.
Spectacular! Let the fireworks begin!
We'll make you regret signing up.
Lumos.
That looks painful. Care to try another round?
Yes. Don't count me out yet.
Brilliant!
I could never duel like that.
Nice work. Sebastian wasn't wrong about you. There's strong competition ahead, but keep this up and you could be the next school champion.
Brilliant. Count me in.
I shall. In fact, the second duel is ready when you are. And as a fully initiated member, you now have access to the official Crossed Wands training dummy. Very good way to master spell combinations. Come and see me, and I'll set it up. Again, congratulations on your first Crossed Wands victory. Well fought.
Protego!
Hope to see you back here again.
Hello, Lucan. Is the next round of crossed wands all set?
Why, yes it is. I've got a great match lined up. Ready for another round?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Brilliant. Are you dueling with a partner?
Yes, Natty.
Then let's get to it.
Ready to get thrashed?
Apologies in advance. Bravo!
I gave it my all.
You did indeed. The other duelists have already taken notice of you, but after that last round, they'll really have it in for you. You'd better keep practicing if you want a chance at winning, or at least surviving the next round. I'll let you know when we're ready. Hope to see you then. The next round is for all the gobstones, so to speak.
Accio! Hello, Lucan. May I use the training dummy?
Of course. I'll fetch it and give you a list of combinations to practice. Ready to have a try now?
That would be wonderful.
Be sure to cast all your spells before the dummy lands. If you need to stop practicing before you finish all of them, let me know.
Accio!
Nicely done!
Leviosa!
That's it!
Leviosa! Accio!
Excellent form! I'd say that's enough practice. You looked good out there.
Thank you, Lucan.
I say better to discover one's weaknesses during practice than during a duel. You'll be a fearsome challenger now.
Assignment's all finished.
Perhaps I should stick to potions. You could have gone a bit easier on me.
Seems I'm out of the tournament thanks to you.
Revelio.
My, what a striking!
Revelio.
I trust Mr. Brattleby was able to accommodate you and that you found success in your endeavors.
I finished all of the tasks you gave me, Professor Hecat.
Glad to hear it. Then you should be ready to learn Incendio.
Should be, Professor?
Yes. I'm sorry to say, I visited enough careless colleagues at St. Mungo's to assure you that fire is a fickle servant. Your spellcasting has impressed me thus far, but please maintain focus. I would rather we not end today's lesson with your robes aflame. Let us begin. And remember, focus on the proper wand movement. Concentrate, and keep your wand steady. Good work. Feel free to practice in the classroom before you go. I've set up a few targets for you.
Incendio!
Getting it. Keep at it. And do try not to incinerate yourself.
Incendio! Revelio.
Ah, there you are. There you are.
Hello, sir. You'll be pleased to know that I worked on my defensive magic with Professor Hecat.
So I hear. She tells me you've taken rather well to your new wand. You must continue to work with her and your other professors to improve your skills. That said, I don't wish to postpone our visit to the library any longer. So, shall we proceed?
Fig! I have work for you. Come.
Headmaster, I'm with a student and my schedule
Your schedule will wait indefinitely, as will your student. I would think that after all the trouble you caused me with Osric, you'd be eager to make amends. My office. 5 minutes.
That man is exasperating. Unfortunately, our trip to the restricted section will have to wait a bit longer.
But, Professor...
We have no choice. It would be unwise to provoke our illustrious headmaster further. I shall find you when I've completed whatever toils I must endure.
Married to Brandine, who may be his sister, cousin, or mother. They're all kinds of things. Cletus and Brandine have many children together, all raised on their dirt farm on the Springfield outskirts. You'll often find Cletus making moonshine or picking up roadkill, but he has also had stints.
I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones.
Mooching off of his kid. Most folks will never lose a toe, but then again some will. This is the history of Cletus the
Accio!
Wow. So
the Daedalian keys are back. Aren't they brilliant?
Is everything all right?
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm Nellie, by the way. I'm just so excited that the Daedalian keys are back.
The what keys?
The Daedalian keys. Surely you've seen them flying about. Rumour is that a former headmistress, Professor Moll, conjured them to protect the contents of certain locked cabinets years ago. Professor Black couldn't be bothered to disenchant the keys, and they appear every few years. You should try to catch one.
Why would I do that?
Each key will lead you to a locked cabinet somewhere in the castle. If you can manage to get the key into the cabinet lock, not an easy task, you may find a reward.
Why would Professor Moll conjure flying keys?
What I heard is that it had something to do with keeping Peeves out of things. But that may or may not be true. He's a poltergeist. I thought they could go almost anywhere.
Surely you will be trying to complete the challenge as well.
I've tried, and I can't even get past the first cabinets. Perhaps you'll have better luck. I'd love to know what's in the cabinets.
Perhaps I'll give it a go.
I hope you do. In fact, I think I heard one of the keys in the astronomy tower. You should listen for them. I hope you follow a few keys at least. If you manage to open a cabinet, I'd love to know what you find, if anything.
They thrust him into the spotlight. First, we have Home Sweet Home Diddly Dum Doodly, in which he is part of the parental re-education class, where he receives both a strangling and a heartfelt embrace. Although brief, this scene does establish a few core character facets. First, that his name is Cletus. Second, we see Brandine for the first time in the background. And third, that he's a parent.
Lumos.
Oh boy, is Cletus a parent. We also see him on the Stereotypes bowling team, at the DMV getting his driver's license, and again at the Ogdenville Outlet Mall. This is Brandine's first speaking role, establishing their marital banter over her job at the Dairy Queen. They revisit this dynamic in 22 short films about Springfield, which is the second best segment in the episode. You all know it's true, don't ask me. Seriously, this thing is perfect Cletus. It's got a catchy song, a backwards yet relatable premise, funny wordplay, and a corny end joke. Perfect segment, no notes. Cletus only shows up twice in season 8, but made the most out of his opportunity. And brother from another series, Cletus raises the alarm, and we find out about...
I wish they'd let the running...
Seriously, I could watch a whole show about Sideshow Bob and Cletus. They are such a funny duo. Where was that spin-off, Troy? And this must have pulled a Marge Simpson. Cletus ruins Marge's business by redeeming 300 free pretzels. We also meet his kids for the very first time. Tiffany, Heather, Cody, Dylan, Dermot, Jordan, Taylor,
Revelio,
Brittany, Leslie, Rumor, Scout, Cassidy, Zoe, Flo, Max, Hunter, Noah, Sasha, Morgan,
Revelio,
Kira, Ian, Lauren, Hubert, and Phil. Anyway, it was business as usual for Cletus during the Mike Scully years, seasons 9 through 12. Sure, he was a bit player, with only 3 to 5 appearances per year, but it was clear that he was going to be in it for the long haul. Many of these obviously played into his cartoony hillbilly shtick, like when he busted up his stink bone, bathed his kid in the car wash, attempted to smash a turtle with a book, and went dumpster diving for indoor plumbing tubes. The Scully era is where they really latched on to the more bizarre Spuckler family dynamics. In Lost Star Lisa, Brandine literally births a child while Cletus is scooping up roadkill and beating his gums with Lisa. In Alone Again, Natura Diddley, they're making out and mention that they have the same parent, incest. They also started playing around with our expectations, having Cletus call Homer a moron at the NRA meeting and showing him off as an outsider artist. It took him 10 years to figure out how to get over that junkyard fence. But most importantly, Cletus started playing in the actual story. In The Joy of Sex, he walks away with all the money after the leader crashes into their property. So either Cletus is secretly wealthy, or he squandered it, or a possum stole it or something. I'm guessing the possum. In Trilogy of Error, Cletus essentially serves as the driver of the second episode. Homer seductive and having a truck who are hiding a bunch of chickens. The Scully era really established Cletus's iconic truck, which came in handy for their upcoming video game. Also, before we leave the Scully era, we gotta mention one more new role for Cletus. As member of the jury, a job we have seen him perform in countless episodes. You might say that Cletus is a rural juror. Now, would you believe that when Al Jean returned as showrunner in season 13, that Cletus became even more prominent in the series? Because there is no stopping this train. Al Jean loves this guy. Cletus is in like half of the season 14 episodes. He is that ubiquitous. Maybe that's why season 14 is so weird. Many of these appearances fall in his typical joke categories, where we'll cover them. But first, let's hit up his major roles. For such a big player in the classic era, Cletus did a number of spotlights with his own backwards sense of continuity. Now, super easy to play a key role in season 16, even closing out the episode with Randy running off with James Bond and Cletus engineering a hit. However, his first major spotlight was 2 seasons later, in season 18, Yoko Court. Or rather, it's a Spuckler family spotlight. This episode is really more about the kids. We find out that the Spuckler kids are being homeschooled. Lisa agrees to teach them, and Krusty discovers they are talented singers. This episode
Revelio.
I hate transfiguration.
Signing the contract without reading it, dressing up like a pimp, and squandering. Also, we have another dog-related mishap. In the end, Brandine returns from her military deployment to give Cletus a piece of her mind. Here's where we learn Cletus' name.
What are you up to now?
And the bit of trivia that Cletus is the father of only 2 of these kids. They make up and walk away with their net profit of negative $12,000. The following season, we get Apocalypse Cow and the introduction of Mary Spuckler. When trying to save his cow from the slaughter, Bart offers it to Mary. Cletus is overjoyed because in his culture, this is a formal proposition of marriage. He says they named her Mary because he thought she'd marry, similar to why they named their son Stabbed in Jail. We learn that Cletus is a stickler to these rules and occasions, and that he married Brandine when she was 13.
I'm uncomfortable.
And she had already been divorced 4 times. 2 years later, Cletus gets herself a dedicated theme plot in Redneck Stamp Mindset. This is the first I kind of want to just watch Homer get drunk with every secondary character. This subplot is actually pretty cute, doing this charming sideways parody as the 2 go on a moonshine drinking tour. Also, nice editing, I approve. This boozy friendship does draw the ire of Moe, who threatens them all with a gun. It does not go well for him. The hillbillies even refuse to have their way with Moe, much to his chagrin. I love Cletus' response, his annoyed reaction that just because someone did that in a movie, now it's a stereotype. It's a funny little speech by Cletus, especially since he's Mr. Stereotype on The Simpsons. But I love the character detail that Deliverance really gets on Cletus's nerves.
She's evil. She wants to replace me.
Accio! Revelio!
I find it darling to see someone like Professor Weasley at the Three Kings.
Anyway, now we go to season 24.
Hello, Mother.
Incendio!
Still as dark as my mother always responds to my aunt's very Hogwarts Legacy is another
In the premiere, he tells Bart that Mary ran off, and then follows them to New York to get them back. He's kind of the villain of the story, telling Mary that he's one-third her father, and demanding to take her back to Springfield. He does share one nice moment with Bart in the end, feeling bad for him and giving him a picture to
Revelio!
She's somewhere in there. Mary returns to Springfield, and love is a many splintered thing. A terrible episode that Cletus. We do get to hear some of their folk singing in person, as well as their documentary crew chronicling it. In season 27's Puffless, Cletus gets another.
Incendio!
Get in trouble for this.
Maggie bonds with some animals. All the smuggler kids are drunk, but thank God for designated Dorothy to give him a ride home. He has his dog Beauregard guarding the possum, and naturally he is shocked when they jailbreak him. Personally, I don't see why Cletus is the villain here. He had the perfect moonshine to pair with that possum, and now they're stuck eating their fingernails instead. There seems to be a pattern that Cletus gets a spotlight for B-plot every 3 seasons or so. We went from season 19, to 21, to 24, to 27, and now we're jumping to season 31. But interestingly, now we got Cletus spotlights 3 years in a row. It's like every time there's a new showrunner rising to power, they immediately fall in love with
Thank you
Cletus.
for asking. I'm Cressida, by the way, and I'm afraid everything's not all right. I may be in a spot of trouble with the librarian. You see, I'm fond of creating my own charms. Thought I'd perfected my light as a feather charm to use on my library books. My arms get so tired carrying them around all day. But I must have confused the Latin word for feather with bird in my incantation, because when I opened my bag just now in the library, they literally took flight.
That sounds brilliant, actually.
Thank you. Somehow I don't think the librarian will see it that way. I collect the books and remove the charm myself, except this isn't the first time one of my charms has threatened the peace of the library. Our meet told Madame Scribner they were my books flying around, so she said that if I caused her any more trouble, she'd write to my parents. Perhaps you could get them for me. There are only 5. She won't be suspicious of a new student looking around.
Why did Army tell Madame Scribner that they were your books?
Oh, to be perfectly honest, I don't think he meant any harm. I think he was impressed, bragging on my behalf. Amit spends a lot of time gazing at the stars, but he knows a good charm when he sees one.
I suppose I could help, if I have the time.
Oh, I'd very much appreciate it. One of the books is my diary. I'd rather it not fall into the wrong hands. If you could collect them and bring them to me, I can remove the charm.
I'm going to have to use Accio to get to those books. Got it. Only 4 more to go. Accio! This must be Cressida's diary. I'd want this back too if I were her. Revelio. Accio. Revelio. That's the last book. Now to take them back to Cressida.
All of my siblings have finished with Hogwarts.
Revelio. Lumos. Revelio. Lumos.
Reading can be as magical.
Revelio. 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 Hello, Cressida. I collected your books, including your diary.
Oh, what a relief. Thank you. I'll happily take the heavy lot off your hands now.
Here you are.
Well, lesson learned. I certainly won't be practicing any charms in the library again anytime soon. Now, to work out where I went wrong. Perhaps I should start brushing up on my Latin. Thank goodness some people are trustworthy. Certainly wouldn't want anyone but me reading my diary.
I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones. Sebastian, there you are.
I was hoping to see you. I was in the Three Broomsticks after the troll attack and saw what happened with Rookwood and Harlow. Not many students have Victor Rookwood's attention. What was that all about?
Seems he's working with Ranrock, and Ranrock is after something I found at Gringotts.
Ranrock? And when were you at Gringotts?
Professor Fig and I ended up there after the dragon attack. It's quite the tale. Fig had this port key.
A port key? To Gringotts? I'm not sure I follow.
I barely follow myself, and I was there. Anyway, we ended up in an ancient vault where we found a map. That map leads to the restricted section.
You can't be serious.
Deadly serious. Professor Fig has insisted that I not tell a soul about any of this. I've probably said too much.
Understood. Your secret's safe with me. Whatever it is.
Thank you, Sebastian. You mentioned being clever enough not to get caught in the restricted section.
And I am. Meet me outside the library tonight, and tell no one.
What will happen if we're caught in the restricted section?
Detention, no doubt. But a word of caution or two will help. For one, avoid Peeves, the poltergeist. Aside from wanton destruction of property, he loves nothing more than telling on the likes of us.
How concerned should I be about the librarian?
Madame Scribner doesn't take kindly to clandestine activities taking place amongst her precious books, so do all that you can to avoid her. She and I have had our entanglements, but I can hold my own against her. You may not be so lucky.
Thank you, Sebastian. I'll meet you later.